Good evening from the nation's capital. I'm David Aiken. Thank you for watching and a happy Easter Monday to you. We start tonight in Battleground, Ontario, where the website Ontario Newswatch is reporting that Andrea Horwath's NDP is ready to bring down the Liberal government of Kathleen Wynne and force an election this spring. Ontario Newswatch was citing unnamed NDP sources. Now, the NDP says the report is, quote, a complete fabrication. In any event, we do know that the Liberals are not waiting for the writ period. They're jumping into it right away. And over the weekend, launched two new attack ads. Our friend and political consultant Michael Diamond joins us now. And Michael, we're going to get into the attack ads himself in a minute, but we've seen this through a lot of elections over the last year or so. Ahead of the one in Nova Scotia, both the Liberals and New Democrats had a couple of little ads out there to get things going. We saw it, of course, the federal government, the Harper government has constantly got the permanent campaign on. Let's take a look at Ontario. Do you think there's one side or the other that might benefit from a little softening up attack ad-wise?
You know, these ads seem to be forcing the Premier's hands and going to the polls. You know, she can say all she wants that she's looking for cooperation. So, you know, the New Democrats can say whatever they want in regards to the Ontario Newswatch report, but we know that the Premier, although she's saying she wants cooperation from the other parties, is certainly not walking that walk.
Now, just to underline the fact that it is a, you know, by all the polls we've seen, it looks like a tight three-way race. Wynne is attacking both her opponents to the right and to the left. And I signal out Nova Scotia, where it was only McNeil and Dexter who are really coming under any attack. Nobody attacked the third party, the Progressive Conservatives out there. And certainly federally, we see a lot of Conservatives jumping on Justin Trudeau, but we don't see many Conservative ads jumping on Tom Mulcair. Let's take a look at the one that Wynne has out, attacking the PCs, naming Tim Hudak by name. Let's take a look at it, and I'd like to get your thoughts.
I don't believe leaders should hide behind ugly personal attack ads or peddle untruths about their opponents. And I don't believe voters like it either. I do believe if you have something critical to say about your opponent's record, it should be about facts, and you shouldn't be afraid to stand by what you say. Tim Hudak and the Conservatives don't support Labour in this province. That's a fact. His plan is to drive down wages by weakening unions. In short order, he's promised to fire 10,000 education workers and cut billions from our health care. He'll cancel job-creating partnerships with business. And he voted against a plan to create jobs for youth. All of this is on the record, and all are exactly the wrong ideas for our economy if Ontario is to create opportunity for people. If Tim Hudak wants to play politics, that's his choice. My focus is on doing what's right for the people of this province. That's what leadership is. I'm Kathleen Wynne, and I stand behind this message. All
right, Michael Diamond, if I watch that ad, I'm coming away with one thing. Public sector workers, caution, the PCs are into smaller government, and that is going to hurt you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, that's clearly her message, and it's not a terrible ad, but it is funny to hear her say Tim Hudak can play politics while she's personally playing the type of politics in negative campaigning that voters seem to detest the most.
Do you think, let me ask you about the gender issue when it comes to negative campaigning attack ads. I wonder, and I'm going to say it frank out, that I think women can get away with it a little more easier. Kathleen Wynne in this case, partly because of the tone. As long as she doesn't come across as yelling and screaming, that Tim Hudak or a male candidate can't get away with. Is that fair?
You know, I think it is, and it's a double-edged sword also in that she can, her and other female politicians who have that sort of style can get away with doing the attack, but they also can't be attacked. You know, we've seen this, you know, with Hillary Clinton and other female politicians, that it's very difficult to attack them without seeming like a bully.
Let's take a look at the NDP attack ad. It's very similar in tone and style, and you've seen this before, Michael, but there are some key differences. So here's Kathleen Wynne, this time walking down what looks to be the same street, maybe the other way, this time talking to an NDP voter.
There's a conventional wisdom that says leaders shouldn't involve themselves in negative ads. Well, I would never condone a personal attack on my opponents. But I believe if you're going to criticize their policy and record, you should stand by what you say. Unlike the NDP, I believe in order to create jobs, business, small and large, needs to be a trusted partner of government, just like Labour needs to be. The last time the NDP were in office, 1 out of 8 of us was on welfare. We just can't afford to go back to that. I believe in facing difficult decisions and investing in roads, bridges and transit. But the NDP rejects a realistic plan to do that because it's not politically safe. and they won't support an Ontario retirement pension plan. This is not about politicking. It's about finding ways to do what's in the best interest of the people of this province. To me, that's what leadership is. I'm Kathleen Wynne, and I stand behind this message.
And you know, just to pick up on what we just talked about with the first one, she doesn't name Andrea Horwath, so she's not personally attacking a female candidate. That's sort of one notable thing. She's quite clearly attacking Bob Rae. Yeah,
who, you know, we know he spoke at the leadership election that Kathleen Wynne became premier at. So it's very bizarre. And even more, what's more puzzling is she's attacking the party that has written her budgets, that have propped her up, and that she's allowed that have allowed her to hold on to power this long.
Let me ask you then about this strategy where quite clearly the Ontario Liberals are recognizing that they need to grow the centre, and they need to do that by absorbing some people who might be blue-red switchers, but also making sure their left flank is protected against Andrea Horwath, who the polls also say is the most personally popular leader. Do you like this strategy?
You know, I think that's where they have to go. They're in the middle, and they have to worry about both sides, so it does make sense. It doesn't make sense if Kathleen Wynne wants to do what she keeps on saying she wants to do and govern and not play politics, but heading into an election, and she is a politician, obviously, this seems to me to be the right approach if they're going to have any hope in holding on at the polls.
We're going to talk about this a little later on in the show with our friend David Coletto, the issue of incumbency. Obviously, it's an advantage in a lot of cases, but at times a government gets a little bit stale. Quite clearly, the Ontario Liberal government's been around a long time. You can say it's getting stale. And I assume Wynne is going to want to say, I'm the agent of change. It's a freshened up Liberal platform that she'll present, and quite clearly her opponents are going to want to say McGuinty win at every opportunity. Do you see that balance going anywhere?
Well, you can even see this, you know, in her ads, and it's similar to what Dalton McGuinty did when he was down in the polls heading into the 2011 election, when he did that very unorthodox ad admitting that he's not really liked, and now she's doing a attack ad and starting off by saying this is strange to have a political leader engage in a personal attack ad. So she's trying to cast herself as a new sort of politician outside of the box and doing things differently. And I guess in that hopes that if she's politicking differently, it's a different government. Who knows if it will fly? But at this point, what else are they to do?
Yeah, no, I think so. Michael Diamond joining us from Toronto tonight. Michael, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.